I think if you read the Gospels and you look at the life of Jesus, his core message really was one of serving others and of showing by word and deed that he was indeed very different. It is within the capability of all of us to be a friend to someone. And to be friends doesn't mean that I want to change you. It means I want to accept you and be with you and I like you. Well, you know, I would have thought that that's a pretty good and healthy set of circumstances for which conversation can then flourish. I do think that we have to earn the right to speak. And if we are friends with people, we've got a much greater opportunity for whatever it is we say to be heard and understood. Might not be agreed with, but there'll be respect there.
Before you can engage with others, you must look at yourself and think, you know, what are my priorities here? What am I going for? What is my purpose in this interaction with other people? Now, obviously, if you're one of those people who I want to convert them, then you're not going to get very far, or there'll be hostility, etc. So, I think the lessons always start from yourself. So, if I'm prepared to be, you know, to communicate openly, to listen to other people, and to understand there are differences that I will have to accept, regardless of what my belief is, then I think that would be a good start. And then beyond that, there's many, many things. You're giving me a limit of 3, but yes, communication it's vital, and to understand and to listen to other people, because it's not just about, it's a two-way process, isn't it? The interfaith.
I would say there are always 3 steps. One is to find out as much as you can about the person or the group that you're going to be engaged in dialogue with, who they are, what their history is, what their belief is, because that's a way of showing them respect and is a good preparation for the dialogue. 2 is to read the scriptures, to find a passage that speaks to you about the church's engagement in our formative period, and that might be one of many. One that people often read is Acts 17 about Paul on the Areopagus, but there are lots of others too. And 3, of course, is to pray, and to pray to be open to the Spirit who speaks to us through our own faith primarily, through the other person of faith, and through our encounter. So to approach it as, in a sense, as not just another meeting, but as a real encounter in the Spirit, to be open to the holiness of the God who's present in that. So inform yourself, read the scriptures and pray. Those seem to me the 3 crucial steps, and be absolutely clear that you know when you're meeting somebody and where, because in the world of interfaith relations, practical arrangements often go astray, and nothing is more annoying than one person being in one place at one time and somebody else being in another place at another time.
I think what makes a dialogue success is that 2 people wanting to make it a success. The idea that you want to know about the other, the fact that you want to create friendships, the fact that you want to educate yourself about the other person, and the fact that you have the patience to be able to appreciate and to understand the other. I think a lot of times the dialogues fail because of the fact that we are not patient enough with the other person. What you do find is that we're very quick to jump in and not allow the other to open up. And regardless of what opinions they may have, it's important for you to listen to those opinions first, whether you agree with them or don't, and then to present then your opinion on the issue in a way which is productive, in a way which you can learn from, in a way which is not offensive.
I think people often don't reveal who they are or what's important to them on a first encounter. Therefore, I think being patient, sitting alongside, coming alongside somebody, and allowing the process of dialogue to naturally flow is probably the most important thing. So, definitely, patience.
We sometimes have 2 polar positions. The one that says, I'm not interacting with anyone, I don't do interreligious dialogue, I think this is wrong, we shouldn't deal with anyone at all. The other extreme is, no, we will, and we will almost give up any of our religious beliefs and go back on anything with our faith just to create a safe space. And they're both wrong. They're both very wrong. Because we must interact. We are a reality in each other's lives. Gone are the days when communities were monochromatic. Now communities are very diverse. And so we're a reality in each other's lives. But at the same time, we shouldn't let people think they have to go to the extent of being so diluted that they present nothing.
Where people have become Christians or been brought up as Christians, and they haven't along the way picked up enough stability and confidence in who they are and what it means to be Christian, a follower of a particular religion. And these are issues that need to be worked on within our communities, and maybe it's Interfaith which is highlighting that this is an issue for us. And many people who've been involved in interfaith initiatives of all kinds of levels, from the academic to the local grassroots neighbourhood contacts and interfaith groups, nearly all of them say that being involved in interfaith has strengthened their own faith, because they've had to think about what they believe, share it with someone who is coming from a completely different point of view, and reflect on why they are following this religion and not that religion. And for almost everyone, it's a positive experience, but the fear and the uncertainty can be very strong until you make contact and meet the Muslim next door, until you talk to someone who is Hindu or Jewish and find out what they believe. And then they begin to dissolve all those fears and anxieties.
I think the biggest thing to avoid is undue anxiety. People are very, English people in particular, can be very anxious about causing offence to other people. I think just relax and go with it. People, if you approach this with a good spirit, an open and generous spirit, people will understand if you've got things slightly wrong. Don't let your anxiety about causing offence hold you back. That seems to me the biggest single lesson.